Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate it to kick off our Lent series, Seeking the Heart of God in the Heart of the City. As I have said, this is really crucial as we think about where we want to head post-pandemic, where we want the church to be, and as the session discerns where the Spirit is leading us, they will use the work that you all do at the conclusion of this series to brainstorm ways that we can get involved in the community. So I really appreciate that you have given of your time this evening. I am here to introduce our speaker, but also to talk to you about the importance of what you're going to hear tonight. So as you know, our speaker is Ermina Mustedanagic. She is the Executive Director of Wellspring Interfaith Social Services. But why is this important to us as a church? How does helping others connect to our faith? So we hear in the Gospel of Matthew, then the King will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" And the King will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it for me." So the Presbyterian Church USA a couple years ago started something called the Matthew 25 Initiative, and that is based off the passage that you just heard. And the Matthew 25 Initiative focuses on Matthew 25 verses 31 through 46, the parable of the sheep and goats, in which Jesus makes clear that what we do matters to God and how we treat others is important to God. When we welcome others, we welcome Christ. We are called to serve Jesus by contributing to the well-being of the most vulnerable in all societies, rural and urban, small and large, young and not so young, from affordable housing to community gardens to equitable education and employment opportunities to healing from addiction and mental illness to enacting policy change. There is not just one way to be a part of the Matthew 25 movement. Make no mistake, Jesus is calling us to perform ordinary acts of compassion in daily life. In so doing, we continue Christ's work of proclaiming release to captives and good news to the poor, the good news of God's righteousness, justice, and peace for all. So First Presbyterian Church is a Matthew 25 church. The session approved becoming a Matthew 25 church in the spring of 2023. We are therefore joining with 1,100 other churches in the PCUSA who share a commitment to building congregational vitality, dismantling structural racism, and eradicating systemic poverty, which are three cornerstones of the Matthew 25 movement. And I'm going to play a video for you. It's about 2 minutes long, so you can hear more about it.
In today's world, we are often blinded by our wants and needs, failing to see those around us who are struggling with the amount of trauma we all carry. The need to advocate for others can become suppressed.
We don't go to church because we have it all together. We go to church because we're broken. We need community and we need Christ. And in order for a community to be successful, it It is important to look past our own struggles and our own sufferings to help our neighbors, because oftentimes when we are bogged down in our own suffering and our own struggles, we can't see how God is moving. But if we look past ourselves and look at helping somebody else who's struggling and see how God is moving in their lives, it gives us a firmness to how God is also moving in our own.
What we can do to positively impact those who are struggling is to see them. Because to be human is not only for me to understand my pain, but for me to be able to empathize with the pain of others, to get to know their story and the intersections of our stories, and how we might be able to heal as we come together and as we acknowledge the circumstances and the systems that impact the quality of life. We want to make sure that we see our brothers and sisters, our human siblings, as part of a human family.
Today, churches are revolutionizing their efforts by truly celebrating and valuing all creation, standing with and advocating for those who do not have a voice.
I think the Presbyterian Church and other denominations are recognizing more and more of our need to spend time in the community and recognizing that we have a wealth of opportunities to rebuild the church post-coronavirus. A lot of what we face in this pandemic has taken the news away from the life of the church. It is a recognition that we do the work that is necessary to hold people in place, to be reminded of the fact that Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, truly has a message for all people, even in times like these. And I think it's important for us to look at the church itself. Now we're going to have to get out and do recruiting. We're going to have to work. We're going to have to convince people. Quite frankly, Sunday morning is still this out, but the rest of the week is a way of giving ourselves to something that what we think we are.
So the scripture says, "Too much is given, much is required." We are blessed to be a blessing. So people who are in positions of privilege have access to certain spaces. They can speak to certain people, and others may not be able to do that. So we take our privilege and we begin to use it. In the Presbyterian Church denomination in Los Angeles, for example, there are about 67,000 people in Los Angeles County that are without housing. And so the Presbyterian Church is instrumental in passing Senate Bill 679 to make sure that an agency is formed to really scale up and get donations and building housing so that our human siblings can have shelter, which is basic to human life. Churches already have a community that is informed, and so taking that spiritual energy and aligning it with behavior that represents Jesus, going into the world, looking at our communities, finding out who is hurting, how can the church then address that particular context, and they can find community, not to be judged, but rapidly welcomed, prayed with, and then we together begin to look at how we might change the situations.
Churches are
So that's a little bit about the Matthew 25 movement. In January of 1968, Pastors Bill Moody of First Pres, who some of you know and remember, and Arnold Pearson of Trinity English Lutheran Church met to discuss how neighborhood churches could work together to provide much-needed programs for children, youth, and adults on the near west side of Fort Wayne. With a positive response from 5 churches along with the YMCA, a 7-week program began that summer, which met Monday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. From that small but mighty and faithful beginning, Wellspring was born. Ermina Mustedanagic has been serving as the CEO of Wellspring since October of 2022. She comes to Wellspring after a productive tenure with the Matthew 25 Health and Care Clinic, bringing more than 15 years of service in the community impact sector. Ermina says, Wellspring has an incredible mission, and I am passionate about making a difference in our community by helping neighbors in their most critical times of need. Join me in welcoming Ermina.
Thank you so much for having me here this evening. I see some familiar faces, which is always nice to see some of our volunteers. My name is Ermina Mustedanagic, and I am the CEO of Wellspring Interfaith Social Services. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My family moved to Fort Wayne in 1999, about 25 years ago. It was after the Yugoslavian War that we were kind of misplaced from our homes. As children, we did not have clothing, we didn't have food, clean water. So my parents were given an opportunity to take the family out of the country, to find another place for us to live. And my family decided to come to Fort Wayne. We came here, this community embraced us, gave us all the things we didn't have. I was one of the older siblings, and I remember all of that. You know, my brother and sister were a lot younger, they may not remember things that we went through. And so after college, I decided to give back to the community, and I got in the nonprofit world. I felt like that's the only way that I could do this, pay back to the community that has helped us so much. So, as Pastor Amy's mentioned, I was at 1925 studying for 15 years, and then decided to make a move to Wellspring. Helped people with healthcare at some point, but now we have many services at Wellspring, and we can go ahead to the next slide. So I'm very excited that I'm able to give back, providing youth programming for kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to attend summer day camp or after-school programs. Food pantry that we have that provides food to the community. The Wellspring on Wheels that takes food to the community that has been identified as food deserts. Program for older and disabled adults. We have a clothing shop, and I'm so proud that we never charge for any of our services. The history, we've already heard some of the history, so I'll just mention that when we first opened, we were called Fort Wayne's West Central Neighborhood, and West Central Ministry actually, because we only served a very small portion of our town, which was the West Central Neighborhood. Today, we serve the entire Allen County. So we can go to the next slide. We've already heard the history. So. The youth programs, we serve over 250 kids every year in our programs. That includes the after-school program and the summer day camp. The after-school program is open 5 days a week, so if the school is running, our facility is open. We provide transportation for the kids. We want to make sure parents are able to work. For many parents, if we weren't there, they wouldn't be able to secure the job. And then summer day camp is a crucial time for the kids when they're out of school to remain kind of in the school setting. Like we want to make sure they're still reading, doing the math, and making friends, and music, and doing the visual arts. And pandemic has left a huge impact on our children. A lot of actually all of the participants come from low-income families. And going back to the pandemic, we have some students who are not able to read, and they're in the 3rd grade. That is huge. These kids have started school in front of the screens when the pandemic started, and they never had the chance to learn. We are there to help them. We are looking for the volunteers. We have many helping us currently, but we can use more to help us serve these kids. Because I believe kids are our future, and if we don't help them now, it's going to be too late later. Mental health also is very important. It is a threat for the well-being of our youth. Our staff is trained to look for any of those things that kids may be experiencing, bullying and establishment of good relationships. If we see kids coming to Wellspring and not socializing or just sitting in the corner, we identify that and find a solution for them. A lot of times we have to get the parents involved to find treatments for the kids. So that's one of the things we're also doing for the kids. Dinner is always provided for our kids. So every time they're at Wellspring, they're going to be fed dinner, snacks, and everything else they need. The food pantry and Wellspring on Wheels, it's one of our biggest programs. We served over 14,000 individuals in 23. We dispensed over 177,000 177,000 pounds of food to the food pantry and the Wellspring Meals. 80% of our clients have children in their homes, which means if we weren't there, these kids would not have the food. In addition to food, families also receive the hygiene bags. We want to make sure that our neighbors are clean so they can find jobs and they can go to school. And we never pre-pack any food. So when somebody comes to Wellspring, some of our volunteers already know they have choices. They can decide whether they're going to take home. It does prevent waste. What's the point of giving something to someone that's not going to use it at home? So a lot of food pantries just give out items that they choose for them, but we give choices. And clients are served at our main location on Broadway, and then Wellspring on Wheels, we have 8 locations in Fort Wayne. As I said, those are the locations we chose as food insecure neighborhoods. We fill up our van with food and we take it out to these neighborhoods to serve it to people that need help. And our food bank is open 5 days a week at Wellspring. Program for older and disabled adults. We currently have 80 individuals enrolled in the program. We offer 129 different activities. This program does not go by income. It's for anybody that would like to join the program, make friends. I read the article. This is senior loneliness is a well-documented issue, and it is. And the pandemic has left some of that too. Many of our clients that come to us, they don't have kids that live in the same town. They don't have anybody at home to talk to. So they come to us and they make friends at Wellspring. When they're there, they have every day is a different activity for them. So activities are listed there. So music and lunch, and they love karaoke, they love bingo, and all of those great things. So and programs are available 3 times a week. So for somebody to sign up, they would have to call Wellspring, and then we would sign them up for the program. Our clothing shop. Our clothing shop is actually one of the biggest clothing shops in town for free. So we don't charge for anything in our clothing shop. It is set up like a boutique. So we were very fortunate to be able to provide all the clothing at no charge, and we have some really nice clothing there. We never purchase anything; it all comes from our community, and we receive donations daily. Nutrition program. This is our newest program that we're offering this year. It's funded by the grant from the Allen County Department of Health, and we have found out in our food bank that a lot of our clients do not know how to use some of the produce we're giving out. We had clients that we would give asparagus, and they wouldn't take it because they don't know what to do with it. So like, okay, so now we realize, people should be eating fresh vegetables and fruit, but they don't know the benefit of it and they don't know how to prepare it. So we've asked for a grant, we got a grant, we hired a dietitian. After we hired a dietitian, we had a donor who came up and said, we'll give you $20,000 to buy all the fresh produce for these clients to take home to their families after they receive the class 3 years. So really, really nice. And I think this is it. We'll play a video now. And then we'll do the questions at the end. So I have a video to show you that kind of shows all the programs.
Which one is it on here? This one?
If you go all the way down to the end, or
Oh, over here.
yeah,
Let's
I
just
think
push
if you just play that, it should. Hopefully. No? Oh, that's a problem.
Hello, my name is Christopher Newsbaum, and I'm Vice President of Internal Affairs. I want to share some of the amazing services that we offer here at Wellspring. Wellspring offers...
Let's stop it until we get it.
We're gonna stop it until we get it figured out.
Right, let's do that. Well,
Talk to him some more.
let's any questions while we're figuring out the video. So, does anybody have any questions about any of the programs we offer? Oh, we got it. Okay. Technology.
Hello, my name is Christopher Newsbaum, and I'm Vice President of Internal Affairs. I want to share some of the amazing services that we offer here at Wellspring. Wellspring offers...
Wait a minute. That was good and all, but we don't want to lose our audience.
I think it's time for us to enjoy the video of it.
After all, we love Wellspring too. First off, when we start by saying Wellspring is awesome.
So awesome.
And for the next few minutes, we're going to explain to you why.
Wellspring has a lot of programs. Here's one of my favorites.
The after school program is an opportunity for kids in our community to come in after school, have homework time, and have
I like the after school program because we get to meet new people.
They can build relationships with adults and then also learn how to interact with their peers as well.
they get a chance to run around and play, have dinner, and then we do an evening activity. For kids, they get the opportunity to have positive role models in their personal lives and in the community. People who work here know that is what they are here to do. They're here to invest in those children. And all of this is free to the community.
People of all ages benefit from Wellspring, from us kids all the way up to our older adult program.
I've been coming to Wellspring about 40 years now, and just the people are just wonderful. Everybody has such a good attitude. It's a chance that I can be with other people my age and really commune with them.
I'm by myself, live by myself, and I'm little, been with about 21 years. And I like coming here because it gets me out of the house and keeps me active.
The programs is what that does, is gets us all together. It's a lot of fun.
So we play games, euchre, and bingo.
They have an exercise program at least once a week.
But I can't afford the sewing.
They have a program that's where the kids come in. I remember sitting at tables and they're talking kid language, okay? And they include me right in just like one of the kids. And I really like that.
Now, I love to talk, but words just can't describe how impactful our food bank is to our community. So, we won't use words.
When clients come to Wellspring, they expect one thing, and they experience something totally different.
The Wellspring shop provides clothing and a variety of household needs for people in need in our community. The really unique aspect of the Wellspring shop is the dignified boutique feel that the shop provides, and also offers volunteers which help customers find what they need and makes them feel special. It's for all ages and all kinds of clothing, so all people can find what they need here.
I lost my wife. I was going through transitional situational problems. And I said, I just want to go to church for Easter. And they accommodated me. You all just blew me away. I went to church and I had this suit. And I just thank you so from the bottom of my heart. Because without your caring and your love and your support, I wouldn't be able to come to church here.
free, so they don't have to pay for any daycare. And then for the kids, they love it because they get to see their friends they haven't seen in a while.
My favorite thing is about meeting different people because I like to have a lot of
They
friends.
can stick with their learning, like they're reading in math, so when they go back, they can do better in school. And then at the end of the year, we all get together and perform.
We walk from the churches in downtown to go to perform dance and music there in front of like our family.
I think what we do for the kids are great, and the staff is incredible.
We have a lot to say, but don't take our word for it.
All right.
Thank you for watching the video. It really, I think it's so old now that it was done.
We are done.
So the video kind of just summarizes what I've said and all the programs that we offer, but I was also asked, if we're having some challenges at Wellspring, and what are those? And I had mentioned one of the challenges with the kids, we can't read and we need volunteers to help us out with that. We also would like to expand that program. There's a lot of schools that would need help, but can't get kids to us. We all know Fort Wayne Community Schools are suffering greatly for bus drivers. They don't have transportation. We have transportation and are available to get kids to us only from 3 schools, and that's the Lindley, Studi, and Bloomingdale. We will be raising funds to purchase a 3rd van so we can pick up more kids and bring them to us to help them out. For summer day camp, we're currently looking for a theater. There will be the kids who perform at the end of the summer day camp. In the past, we've used some churches, but also paying the University of St. Francis, which is a huge cost. So I'm sure there's maybe a church that may be able to help us out with that. Yeah, I think I'm speaking to the right church, right? I thought so. And then for older adult program, before pandemic, churches would cook meals and bring them to our clients. And since the pandemic has ended, that has not happened again. So it's a huge budget for us to purchase the food and to cook. We have to pay a cook to actually prepare the meals and to serve them. So again, spreading the word. If there's anybody out there that would be willing, it could happen every 6 months or every month, or they will be willing to do something like that for us. In our food bank is getting really small for us. We have refrigeration issues because we have too many refrigerators in one space. They're dying. And so we're looking to expand. So in the next year or so, Wellspring will be launching probably a capital campaign to raise some funds so we can expand some of our programs like food bank and to get more space. And the last is our clothing shop. In our clothing shop, we can always use volunteers to sort the clothing that we get. We get bags and bags of clothing every day. So I will take questions now.
Bill's gonna be my passer-outer of the microphone.
So yes, Bill Patterson here. Are you? What can we do for you? I mean, what other roles besides the food bank and First Presbyterian and now the theater?
So what else you could do for us? Well, you guys do. You guys provide financial help for us as well, which is crucial to our operations. Wellspring is started by the churches, and we're heavily depending on that support because that's the way we could run the programming. So financial support is always appreciated. The theater, if you say yes, I'm so happy because you're wondering where we're going to find a theater for the kids.
I think we're the only one that has a theater.
I did not know that.
I think so.
I did not know that. And then, volunteering is always appreciated. In the clothing shop with the kids, if you're willing to come out and read with our little ones, that would be greatly appreciated.
I have a quick question before we ask others. Could you tell us a little bit more about maybe how things have changed for the people that you serve post-pandemic? you mentioned briefly the children in 3rd grade not being able to read, that's something, but are there other changes that you've been seeing since 2020, 2021?
Yes, so we have seen a huge increase in our food bank numbers. We are serving a lot more people than we've served post-pandemic. Last year, there were 23,000 visits, this was in 2022, 23,000 visits, people coming to Wellspring. 2023, we had over 41,000 people asking us for help. That's a huge increase. Our food bank is feeling it, our budget is feeling it, the volunteers. The food we have, it's loaded and unloaded by humans. We have women who are working there and doing so. It's heavy work, but I feel like the food bank has, there's a huge need for food out there, and people are lining up in front of our doors just before we even open.
Marcy, hold on a minute.
I wondered if you could speak a little bit more about how your demographic has changed geographically. It started off, how the demographic has changed over time. Started off West Central, and you said that was a smaller area, and now how far does it extend? What are some of the other neighborhoods where people come?
Yeah, so we have one site that goes all the way to Roanoke. Because there's farmers out there who need food, and they may not. We think your farmers, they have food, they grow their food, but there's items they need. We also have a location on Woods, which is south of town, and it's all Asians that we serve. The Asian community lives there, and so we have picked that up post-pandemic. We have to carefully pack when we go to that site because cultural food is really important. So we pack the things that like rice and beans and greens and things like that. Something that we save specifically for that site. We don't take pork, we'll take chicken and fish. But yes, recently we picked up another site which is an 05, which is Beacon and State. Because we have realized there's a lot of people coming to us to food bank from that area, so we wanted to bring it to them, to that neighborhood.
I really enjoyed seeing, especially the videos and pictures about your programs. I'm just wanting to be able to envision where your central location is. Is it one building with a lot of rooms? I've seen the Wellspring sign downtown here, but what is your facility like, please?
Yeah, so our Wellspring shop is actually a separate building. We share the same parking lot. And then our main building provides all the other programming. So we have a food, when you first walk in, there's a food bank on the right. First a waiting room where clients wait, then we have a food bank. And then the hallway leads to the activity room. That's for our older adults, people with disabilities during the day. We clean it up, and then at 3 o'clock the kids come in. So we share the same activity room for those two programs. And so yeah, so that's, I would love to give you a tour if you want to stop in sometimes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I know First Pres we have food that we donate to your food bank.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage do we provide? Do you still?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't be able to say that with our percentage. I can tell you the percentage of all the food donated to us. I would say it's about 40%, and we have to buy 60% of the food.
Okay, so then you need a whole lot more than what.
I mean, we're serving a lot of people, and we're fortunate to be partnered with Community Harvest Food Bank. They actually sell food to us, but it's 19 cents a pound. I think 14 or 19 cents a pound. It's really, really cheap. So we wouldn't be able to find it anywhere else in the community. Sometimes we're limited on how many items we can take. Like now there's a shortage of meat, so we can only have not as much as we need. We're actually looking for another supplier for meat just to meet the demand.
for people of all ages to get really good clothing. And I'd like to urge anybody in here, you got any good, and it needs to be in good shape.
Yes.
Use clothing. Wellspring is the place to take it because it's going to go to people who need it. I feel that way about your whole organization. You funnel everything right to the people who need it. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, our clothing shop, clothing comes in. It's mostly run by the volunteers. We have a very part-time person who manages the schedule and opens the doors, locks the doors, but volunteers really run the shop. They'll go to the clothing, put it on the shelves, and people that come to us to shop, they experience the actual shopping experience. They get a shopping cart to go around and pick the clothing they need. We have a fitting room where they can try the clothes on, and then they'll come up and we have like a checkout area. We don't allow people to take everything we have in there, so we have a limit on things, how many they can take, but each family member gets a bag of clothes when they leave us, so.
How does it, we've worked with Community Harvest in the past where they went to a voucher system where they had to call and then kind of get on the list to be able to go shop. How does Wellspring help those that are food or clothing insecure? Can they just come up to the building? Do they need to call ahead of time, set an appointment? Can they only come once a month? What does the process for somebody seeking help look and feel like?
Sure. So a client's coming to us with food, they can just walk up to our door. We do have certain hours, so hours are posted on our website, on our doors. That's what we advertise. And someone just walk in, they don't need an appointment, they just walk in and they get a number, we'll interview them, and then they get the food to take home. For the clothing shop, we do make appointments for that. Our clothing shop, it's a bigger building, but we have a lot of clothing in there. So just imagine like having 30 people in there at one time. So, and it's run by the volunteers, so we want to make sure to make it a good shopping experience for everyone and a good volunteer space for them to be there. And so we do require appointments for that. No vouchers, we do not require any vouchers. And our food bank is every 30 days at Wellspring, and that's required by us for us to follow the federal guidelines. We get a very small percentage of food from the federal government, so we can do it every 30 days. However, Wellspring on Wheels is twice a week, so clients can go twice a week to our Wellspring on Wheels. That is not funded by the government, so we can do whatever we want with that program.
I'll use my teacher voice. I have a question about the Meals on Wheels. When you go, do you go out in the neighborhood on a set schedule where you are, and how do people find out what that schedule is? And then particularly I'm interested in what happens with the children during the summer when they do not have meals available in the school all the time.
Okay, so when we take food out to the community on Wellspring on Wheels, we do have the set sites and set times. We very rarely change locations and times we're there. We want to make sure people find us, and if we do, if we're about to change a location, we announce it way ahead. Our clients have Facebook, we realize that, and they all follow us on Facebook, and then we will start giving out flyers early for changing our location, so they're able to find us. For the kids, for summer day camp, we provide meals when the kids are with us. But outside of that, when we don't have a summer day camp until the school starts, they really depend on their family to feed them. They can come to our food bank to receive food, but we do not take food out to them during the time they're not in the camp.
Anybody else got a question?
I was interested in the effect, or what's your experience with homeless folks using your services? It seems that Wellspring is very good at working with established people that have homes, but
it happens. In our food bank, every once in a while we'll have somebody who's gonna walk up. It usually happens when the food bank is not open, like homeless will just walk up to the door and ask for food. And you can tell they're homeless, and we have Linda who runs our program, which is wonderful. She has pre-packaged food for them that we can give out when that happens.
And children, do you have children that come and use the services, or come to programs that you come to find out are homeless?
We do have actually 2 kids in the after-school program who actually live in the Harris house. They don't have a home yet. We are providing transportation for them, so that's how we know that they were homeless at some point. They lived in a car with their mom, and now they're at the Harris house. Mom is trying to get a job for them, or for her, to be able to provide for the kids, so.
So you try to work with those places to let them know that.
Right. The school usually, the school will know, they will let us know if any of the kids are homeless. We work with schools very closely. And I think there was another question. And then our clothing shop. We have homeless walking up to our clothing shop all the time, asking for clothing. We'll accommodate them. They do not need an appointment. They will not make an appointment with us. Trinity English serves meals, I believe it's Thursday nights, and they hand out vouchers. It's really not a voucher, it's just letting us know that they've been in Trinity, they were referred by them, and they can come on a Friday, and we're not open on Friday, so we'll open the door for them, because we know they're homeless, they came from Trinity. So we always have some blankets folded in our, even though that's not what we give out, but we always save some, because when the homeless walk up and they're cold, they're gonna need some blankets, so we give those out too.
Are they in great need for those particular things like blankets?
It depends. Now we have a whole pile, you know, maybe a month down the road we may not. It really depends. We work with Salvation Army, so if sometimes we get too many items of something, we work with them, they will donate that to them, so.
What do you do for the people who really don't have transportation? And they aren't able to get to Wellspring downtown or any place else?
Sure. We do not provide any transportation. We're lucky there's a bus stop right in front of our shop. But recently I have learned about how they operate, and it's only every hour, and I guess they're going to be going to every 2 hours maybe if the budget doesn't get approved for them. So it's really sad, but you know they do depend on public transportation to come to us.
Ermina, you want to say something about your vaccine program tomorrow?
Oh, yes. So we have partnered with Super Shots. Tomorrow is an event at Wellspring from 1 to 4 p.m. If you need, it's for adults, the vaccine. So if you need any vaccines, come to Wellspring. You also get a bag of food if you're the first 50 that walks in. And we have learned that many of our clients are not vaccinated. Let's say that there's probably a lot of you have received the vaccine for shingles. It's called Shingrix. It's very expensive, and if you don't have insurance, you wouldn't be able to afford it. It comes in 2 doses. It's over $360. There is an RSV medicine or vaccine that came out. It's to protect for respiratory diseases. It just came out in the fall. Again, very expensive. So all of that is free tomorrow to our community. Not checking for income, if you just want to vaccinate our community. So it's happening from 1 to 4 at Wellspring tomorrow.
I saw on your website about a fundraiser that you're having.
Yes.
Spring also.
Yeah, so Wellspring has not had a fundraiser in a while. I came in 22, so for 2023 it's been a learning year for me. But this year I decided to do a first fundraiser to raise the funds for the kids. It's going to go towards the after-school program and summer day camp. Carson Law Office, we have one of our board members who works there. Actually, it's a beautiful office. It oversees the TeamCap Stadium, and they're giving us an office at no charge to use. It can fit about 120 to 150 people, and we're looking for sponsors. If anybody would like to come to the event, the tickets are sold on Eventbrite, and also you can get them from our website if you click on the Eventbrite link. So yeah, all the funds raised are going to go towards children's programs.
I also just want to say quickly that Wellspring is one of our sites for Hands on Fort Wayne on April 7th, and we will be working outside. Are you in charge of that site?
Yes.
Thank you for that. Bill Patterson is team captain for that site, so you will be in very good hands, meeting about 15 or so people. A lot of mulching, a lot of yard work, but it's okay.
We appreciate that. So last year, who did it? Us. So all the staff and some of the volunteers, we were all dressed up for the day and we mulched and did all the yard work. So that was really exciting to hear that somebody wants to help us out. Appreciate it.
We will be there April 7th, around, I don't know, 11:30-ish. So you'll hear more about that, since that is one of the sites that we're going to have. But are there any more questions before we just close out the night? Okay. Well, I really want to thank you for being here and talking to us about the incredible work that Wellspring does. And thank you so much. If you have a question, I'm sure she'll stick around for a couple minutes. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Is Jeff Paddock, who of course is a member here, and our councilman. And so he will come to talk to us about things that are happening in downtown and also in his ward, which covers West Central as well as Wells Street corridor and what have you, and what's going on there. 2 weeks from tonight, we have Zachary Harl, who is the principal of Southside High School, who is coming. Who in here is a Southside grad? Do we have any Southside? All right. So that he will be here, and then our last week of speakers, we have a panel on the arts, and so we have Amanda and Charles Shepard from the Art Museum, Brittany Hall from the Philharmonic, and many of you know John O'Connell from PFW, the theater department. And then the final week is your chance to talk about ways that we can get involved with these great organizations that we're going to hear from. So thank you so very much for coming. Next week we'll start again with our speaker at 6:30, and if you come early, you can grab a coffee or water and cookie and what have you and visit. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.